was saying, you all know that I'm a health advocate, and those people that have been around me, they know that I like health and wellness, and I've tried a lot of different opportunities, but they didn't work for me. They didn't have the product consistency. Some of them, they come to you just based off a comp plan and not products that really, really work. So my friend Portia Davis, she introduced me to Zooma. And I was a little hesitant at first because we were in another company at the time, but I went ahead and got the sample pack. And when I got the sample pack, I was already going through something as far as migraines. And my mother-in-law can contest to this. I was constantly having migraine after migraine after migraine. And almost a year is coming up. I was sick for 5 days in the hospital. Didn't know if I was going to live or die, you know. And in the midst of that, my aunt transitioned. And she basically, like, you know, just transitioned at a ballpark, you know. And I began to look at these products. And I thought, what if I had these products, the Cortiazine, the Extreme X2O, because what appeared to be healthy on the outside was not healthy in the inside. And so I started using the Extreme X2O. I went to the hospital because of a migraine shift. That night, I didn't really want to start on my kids. So I took them to school that morning, and I went to the hospital that morning. And when I went into the hospital, I had 2 bottles of water with the sachets in it. When I normally go to the hospital, they have to immediately give me an IV because I'm always dehydrated. But this time I didn't, and I didn't stay in the hospital overnight. So that alone was like amazing. I was in there for like probably 2 hours, and they told me that my migraine shifted, and I was like, a migraine shift? You know, I thought the migraines just, you know, stay right here, but apparently it went to the back of my head, and that's what was, you know, making me feel woozy and get scared. And so when the doctors and stuff came in, they tested my blood, they did all that, everything was fine. And he asked me, he was like, well, what are you drinking? And I'm like, I'm drinking alkaline water. So she said, well, we gonna keep this right here just in case we have to give you an IV. And I was like, okay, if this water doing what it say it's gonna do, this gonna be the test for me, you know. And so when they came in, they was like, well, we're gonna let you go. We're just gonna give you some more medicine because it was just a migraine shift. It shifted from the back. And I'm like, so I thought you said you was gonna have to give me a IV because you think I'm dehydrated. And they said, oh, no, you're hydrated in this and another. So I said, So I politely, you know, I took a picture and I shared it because I had my hospital band on, and I was telling Portia, I'm like, I don't got to get an IV, you know, because I'm hydrated. And so when the doctor came back in, he said, you keep drinking that alkaline water. And we said it at the same time. Diseases thrive in an alkaline environment, but can't live in diseases thrive in an alkaline environment, but can't live in an acidic environment, vice versa. So I'm just nervous. But when he said that, I began to just think I'm a big soda drinker. Strawberry Crush, Pineapple Crush, that was my thing. I never really drunk water.
Pepsi.
So I was like, okay. So I started getting more water into me. And I hesitated for a minute with the Focus Up. But one day I was at work, I was dragging. I took 3 Focus Up capsules. And I was just emotional. My mood was just on point. And I'm just like running around with a chicken with my head cut off, doing my technology job, doing hair after I get off my technology job, going home, dealing with my autistic, ADHD 8-year-old son and a 5-year-old. So I'm like, man, I still got this energy. I wonder what it'll do for my son. So I began to test the Focus Up capsules on my son because he takes Focalin, 10 milligrams a day, ADHD. Okay, first day. And I thought the capsules would be better for him because he already takes pills. So I'm like, okay, cool. gave him the capsule. His teacher was just blown away by his performance at school. And I was like, okay. And then my daughter, she was learning her sight words. So when he came home, he wanted to help her and read books to her, you know, with the sight words. And Mama, you know how Joel is. Joel be all over the place, like just all over the place. And you've seen how calm he is now that he's been on the Focus Up. So the next day, you know, he was acting silly. He didn't want to take the capsule. So I said, let me put a sachet in his water. So I put the sachet, the Focus Up sachet in his water because they like juice. Gave it to him. Same thing happened again. And I was like, now, wait a minute now. This too good to be true. If it's lasting all day outside of the medicine that the doctor prescribed him, which his doctor had told me try some natural alternatives, and I was like, okay. But you know, we be skeptical when it comes to our children. But we also want the best for them when they're in education because you don't want them to be stereotyped because of learning disabilities or anything like that. But this Focus Up had my kids so on point. I was just blown away, and his teacher had sent me a class dojo, and when she sent me that class dojo, she was like, is Joel on new medicine? You know, and I was like, no, I'm giving him the Focus Up liquid. I'm going to send you a sample pack. I'm going to send you some stuff to school. So I sent his teacher a sample pack, basically, a pre-made sample pack, and she was blown away. And so not only that, she's telling other kids' parents about this Focus Up. So it's just a matter of time. Then also, pica syndrome. You know, I'm vitamin deficiency. Well, I was vitamin deficiency, but I no longer take vitamin D, 50,000 units. I no longer take iron pills. I'm no longer craving baking soda. I'm not eating ice every day like I used to. And a lot of people think that's normal, but really it's not normal because it's messing up the inside of your body. When you're eating that ice, you have a low mineral deficiency. If you're eating cornstarch, you have a low mineral deficiency. If you're craving any type of non-food items, you have a low mineral deficiency. And that starts with dehydration. You know, your body needs these things. And since I've had these products into my system, like, I love it. I love it. And it's done wonders for me and my family, and I will be forever grateful for, you know, Zooma, and I'm just a product of the product, so.
And what do you call Focus Up?
Energy on steroids.